I'm in CTO at Hyper9, and I'm going to present the Hyper9 solution. And first I'm going to give some background on what the problem is. There are several problems with virtualization management today. A lot of them have to do with finding, tracking, managing, in addition to reporting and troubleshooting of virtual machines and the virtual infrastructure environment that those machines operate in. What's interesting is finding, so the first piece is actually a lot more difficult than what someone would normally think it is. The problem is that virtual machines can be suspended, they can be archived, moved, they can be in a constant state of flux. And this causes a lot of difficulty in trying to hunt down and find a virtual machine, especially if it's having some type of problem or had a problem and it's been archived off, and at some point it's then brought back online. And as virtual machines begin growing and you end up with more and more of them, you end up with more and more difficulty in finding them. It's also difficult to deal with tracking the virtual machine. Not only tracking its movement and what's happening to it, but if it's being moved from one, say, virtualization platform to another, or from one data center to another, it's difficult to keep track of, is this the same virtual machine or is it a different virtual machine? Virtual machines can, in fact, even change many times in a single day. This didn't happen in traditional data centers. Traditionally, a server was built, imaged, and used for an extended amount of time, so the difficulty in machines being transient really wasn't that big of a problem. Managing is a challenge because of trying to navigate through this giant morass of virtual machines that are out there in environments. Once you get beyond, say, 50 virtual machines, it becomes difficult to keep track of those virtual machines in your head. It becomes difficult to keep them up in some type of spreadsheet or other set of tools. And traditional management tools require you to live within a hierarchy. So the left-hand side of your screen usually has some type of tree that you drill down into and then try and drill back up. This causes problems when you have things moving around from one portion of that tree into another, things disappearing from inside of that style of tree. All of these things contribute to this problem in virtualization management. In addition to that, because it's so hard to find these things, generating reports and dealing with the data becomes even more difficult. You not only have information around the actual systems themselves, but you have information about what's inside of the virtual machine to deal with, along with a whole host of other things that make it difficult to generate the reports that administrators need today. And last is troubleshooting. So because of all of these things changing in the environment, both the supporting infrastructure as well as the virtual machines themselves, we end up with a problem where something goes wrong, something has changed, and there's no way to see what was changed that is now causing the problem. So troubleshooting becomes very, very difficult. An administrator might have to go into 3, 4, 5 or more different tools to look at information to then try to mentally correlate what the actual problem is. And so these problems are one of the inhibitors to mass virtualization adoption. The Hyper9 solution addresses these problems. First, it addresses them by allowing you to find using a search engine-based platform that aggregates data from both inside and outside of the virtual machine. So this provides the ability to see the full view of what's happening. It allows you to do a simple search and immediately find the virtual machine you're looking for based on whatever criteria you happen to be searching for. This is similar to what Google would let you do on the web, or what Amazon.com would let you do if you were searching through a whole host of products trying to find a specific product that you wanted to purchase based on some type of criteria. We let you track the virtual machines and virtual infrastructure by a unique crawling method where we actually collect the data about the virtual machines and then figure out which virtual machine we've been looking at. This is a different approach than what traditionally has been done, where markers or tags are injected into the virtual machines or into their configuration, which causes a great deal of discomfort for an administrator to know that their management program is actually altering the virtual infrastructure itself or the virtual machine simply so it can keep track of things. To better manage, we provide a Web 2.0 style search interface. This allows navigation easily throughout the product, as well as being able to group things in what is more logical to the administrator instead of forcing them to try and use groups that we've created. This allows for very efficient management, and it allows for customization based on the customer's environment instead of the customer having to adjust themselves to our tool. Creating reports, because we're using search results and we're aggregating all of this data, becomes far easier. It's simply doing a series of searches, picking out the relevant data that you want reported, and choosing what format you want that report to be produced in. This is far easier to deal with than trying to create a whole series of reports from many different tools to get the picture of what you're trying to look at, or trying to export the data from many tools, many different things that are providing this information, and then trying to custom create some type of solution that will allow you to see the information you want in the format that you'd like. And last, to troubleshoot, we're providing the ability to compare virtual machines. Either compare virtual machines to other virtual machines if you, say, have a template or some other style of solution that gives you the standard, and you want to see what type of variance the current virtual machine exhibiting a problem is having from what the actual template is. In addition to that, we also let you see what has changed by allowing you to compare a virtual machine to itself at two different points in time. So if a virtual machine was operating very well, say, yesterday, and today it's exhibiting problems, being able to immediately see what the differences are between that machine yesterday and today becomes very, very powerful. And because we keep a history of all of this data, you can go back in time and see any of this information at any point in time that you desire. So in conclusion, virtualization environments are very complex. They're constantly changing. They're difficult to manage with most tools out there available today. And Hyper9 provides a different approach to solving this problem by leveraging search, Web 2.0 interface technologies, the ability to report on this aggregated information, troubleshoot through comparison and modeling, and being able to actually find and track all of this information all from a common, simple to use and intuitive interface. Thank you.